right, guys, we've come across a problem, and something that you might not know about our being on universities is that we need to have permission to be on university property. Now, a sidewalk is not university property, that's city property, so we can actually be there without permit. But on the university property, the universities view that as renting the space. So we need university permission to be on university property. Now, this can be a problem because we have to work with the universities to get approval, and it can take weeks and weeks and weeks to get approval. During this process, we come across those universities that don't want us to be there. Now, you're gonna find this interesting. So the second most important university in Canada has told us no, and we don't know their reasonings, but I'm just going to give a synopsis of what they said to me. And this was on Tuesday, so just a couple days ago from recording this. And I reached out to them in hopes that I would be able to be on university property on their campus. And this was the very brief response. Hi, Sarah. I have consulted with our media relations team. We do not permit this type of activity on campus. Best of luck. That's the entirety of their response. Now, you might think that's kind of wild. So, okay, what do they not like about this activity? So it can't be the filming, because this university is very open about allowing filming on the campus. So it can't be that. So therefore, it must be the fact that we're an external organization going and having debates on the campus. Now, this could actually be a pretty big thing when it comes to free speech, because they're literally squelching free speech on their campus by not allowing other people to come and have conversations with their students. Now, this is actually a big thing that we need to work on. This runs up to one of the goals we have as an organization, and we haven't been very clear about this in the past, but I'm going to lay it all out for you today. So one of our goals is to organize young people to spread the message about conservative values and to get others voting. Right? That's one of the big things. So the whole idea is that we would have chapters and clubs on every campus in Canada and on every high school in Canada, and that students could interact with these chapters and learn more about conservative principles, and then get involved and encourage their fellow students to vote and to make the case for conservative values. This is one of the reasons that we exist. This was like the whole idea of the organization in the beginning, and we've actually gotten closer to this goal now that we're doing the table debates, because students actually see what we're doing instead of just walking around with the mic. So that has been really helpful, having the table. But because we're an external organization, they can, I guess, tell us we can't be on the campus. And that doesn't seem right, but that is apparently what they can do. So the only way around that, to have table debates on the university property on these campuses, is to have the chapter on the campus. If the chapter were to have a tabling event and to hold debates, the university would not be within the rights to say no, because this would be a ratified club, and stopping them would actually be a huge problem. So they would have to let us have the table debates if we were a ratified chapter. So that is one of the things that we'll be pursuing on these campuses. And by the way, if you are a student on any campus in Canada, reach out to us. We would love to work with you to have chapters ratified on your campuses. This is something that we want to do. We need to get this done. There needs to be an organization, a grassroots organization in Canada. So if you are a student on any of these campuses, reach out to us, direct message us on Instagram or X. We would love to hear from you and to help you spread the word about conservative values. This is something that we need. We really believe strongly in this, and we would love to work with you on that. And even if you aren't a student, you can actually help us spread the word about these chapters that we're trying to start. If you have a student in your life, or if you live near a campus, you can actually help us hand out literature to advertise for these chapters. So there is work for everyone, really. Having these chapters is definitely integral to our mission, but we don't just want to reach the students with like right-leaning messages about like freedom and free speech, free markets, and capitalism. That's not only what we want to do. We want to reach all of Canada with this message as well. So you guys can help us. We actually have a card that we've begun to hand out that will have names of independent media sources on that card. So if you are interested in handing out these cards, then connect with us on X or Instagram, and we can actually send you the files, and then you can have them printed up in your area. And this is something that we truly believe in, because no one is really spreading the message about independent media, and that needs to happen. We need to get people off mainstream media, and the best way to do that is to inform them that there is an alternative, and an alternative that you can actually trust. So we would love to get the message out about that. So if you are willing to hand out that card, then connect with us on X or Instagram, and we'll get that file to you and you can have that printed up. But another thing that we have really been thinking about, we haven't been fully open with you about our mission, but we also haven't been fully open with you about our funding. We actually haven't received any major funding at all since we started. And we just haven't put the word out there that we need funding and we need donations. That is something that we need. And I've come to see it a little differently about donations and what that is. I view it now as partnering with people out there, and them actually having the ability to fund this is a way for them to partner with us and to actually fuel the change that we want to see. And I know I've grown up watching televangelists and people spreading the message about saying, oh, we need funding, so call this number now. But I don't want to sound like that. I truly mean this, that if you want to partner with us and to help us spread the message, then we would love to see that. We would love to have your donation. I don't want to sound like that televangelist. I really hate that. But it's true. So we have recently set up a PayPal. So if you would like to fuel our mission, we really do need your funding. And it will be used for the mission. We need more equipment. We need resources for the kids on these campuses, because we have kids that are working with us trying to help get the chapter started. So we need resources for these kids, and we need to get a website set up. So there's so many things that your money will go towards. And because we don't have funding, our travel has been strictly limited to Southern Ontario. But once we get the funding, we'll be able to reach the entirety of Canada. That is the hope, and that is something that we will be doing. So again, if you feel that strongly that you want to support us, then I would ask you to consider donating through the PayPal link, because that is something that we need. And this is your chance to help fuel change in Canada. And it's not just donations, we need volunteers as well. So if you want to hand out the card, I'll say it again, then just connect with us on X or Instagram, and we would love to get that out to you. And when you donate, make sure that you also still connect with us on X or Instagram so that we can get your email from you, and then we will email you with updates about what we're doing, the chapters that have been ratified, and how your funds are being used, because I believe that we really need to be open with you. So you will have an insider way to connect with us if you do that. Anyway, so that is the mission, and if you know anyone who would love to support us, you can share this video with them. Feel free to do that, guys. Anyway, that'll do it for me. I am Sarah. Please like, subscribe, and comment. That'll really help the channel out. All right, bye.